So what are my top 5 go-to books that I've read that have changed my life, but on top of that, that you can also get and be able to just access the knowledge that can completely transform you. On today's video, I want us to actually take a look at the top 5 books that have influenced me positively, because one of the biggest things that I want you to know about them. Secondly, I want to give you some key takeaways that I took from these exact same books that you can also take, maybe implement if maybe you don't want to go through reading the whole books. You can take some of the key takeaways that I'll be sharing with you on this video, just so you are able to just shorten that learning path, but also be able to enjoy the same benefits from what I got from reading these books. So behind me, you can see I've got a library of books. In fact, some books that I was looking for, I just noticed that are not here because I've had these books for many, many, many years. In fact, one of the first books that I had, I was 19 years old when I was delivered or given my first book. I even forgot where I got it from, but someone was like, take this book, read it, and then this book is going to change your life. I didn't really think, because I was not a person that would really read books. And then somewhere out of nowhere, I just decided that, you know what, let me sit down and read this book. That was like maybe 4 months after I've got the book. And then I won't lie, guys, I've started seeing things differently. My life changed. And now, truly speaking, that was like 10 years ago. But now, as we speak, I'm in a 100% different position, whereby if I didn't read the book, maybe I would still be, maybe I would have passed in college, maybe now working a decent job, making 30K a month, numbers like that and all those things, on which for me, I don't think it's very impactful. But now I want us to actually dive a bit more deeper. So I'll walk you guys through these books that have changed my life. So now, before I jump into these books, one of the first things that I need you to do is, I've noticed that a lot of you guys watch my videos, but not most of you actually do subscribe. So if you haven't, maybe it's because of you forgot. If you haven't, just make sure that you do. So please do just subscribe to my YouTube channel, and as well turn on the notification bell, so whenever I post available videos, you will be one of the first persons to learn. So let's get straight into it. So the first book that I actually want us to speak about is the Bible. Because with me, I grew up in a family whereby we knew about the Bible, we would always be taught the Bible and stuff, but I was just never really too interested, or I never really cared much about it, because I just felt like, it's just a normal thing, like anyone, anyways, should just read the Bible, that type of thing. Up until, I got into trading. When I got into trading, there was a time where I was going through a rough time, a rough patch. I felt like giving up. Things were not making sense. I felt like everything is just against me. And that was one of the best things that ever happened to me. I just watched some videos, and someone was saying that, the Bible has all the answers type of a thing. I was like, you know what, let me just open this and read. Then I did open the Bible, and I did read, and then I discovered something. So to discover means that you are now seeing something that has always been there, but you just never really knew that thing is there. So that's what happened with me when I started reading the Bible. I started discovering certain things, started gaining a bit more better morals, having faith, and I noticed that it's not just about trading, it's not just about me buying and selling. It comes a long way. It has to do with discipline, morals, it has to do with having faith, it has to do with just believing so many things that are going on all up around it. And once I started seeing this, once I started applying certain things that I learned from the Bible, my life changed. Not only trading wise, but my life in general changed and became better. But I want us to actually cover the two different types of sections in the Bible. So we've got the New Testament and as well the Old Testament. So the Old Testament speaks more on about God's creation, the God's relationship with Israel, some of the laws, prophecies, and wisdom literature. And the New Testament focuses a bit more on life, teachings, death, and as well the resurrections of Jesus Christ, along with guidance for Christian living. So what are the key takeaways that I took from the Bible? So the very first takeaway that I got was having faith and trusting in God. Believing in God's plan brings peace and as well purpose. That is from Proverbs chapter 3, from verse 5 all the way up to 6. The second key takeaway was wisdom and guidance. Books like Proverbs and Psalm, it teaches you practical life wisdom. So the third takeaway is love and forgiveness. Jesus emphasized love, grace, and forgiveness. That is from Luke 6, verse 37. The fourth takeaway was stewardship and as well wealth. The Bible teaches financial principles, just like giving, investing, and as well avoiding debt. And that is from Matthew chapter 6, from verse 19 all the way up to 21. And the last takeaway that I got is perseverance and purpose. Stories of people like Job, David, and Paul show how faith can overcome struggle. And truly speaking, there's a lot of key takeaways. Till this day, I still go through my Bible. You can simply see right here, it is. I'm still going through it. You can read this Bible here, and whenever I just get back here to get all the answers that I need. So guys, truly speaking, the Bible is the number one book that has changed things for me. Perfect. So now that you've got the very first book, I want us to move over to the second book that you can learn about, and I'll also be able to share with you guys the key takeaways just so you're able to learn a bit more better on how these books can positively impact your life. So the second one is Rich Dad, Poor Dad. So this book actually had three of them. Now looking for them, I can't even find one. I believe people when they come here by me, they just borrow themselves this book. I'll just put a cover here so you're able to see. With this book years ago, someone just gave it to me and they were like, hey, read this book, maybe you'd find something here. And then I read it and things changed for me because I started seeing a perspective of the rich dad, basically it's a rich dad, poor dad type of thing, rich dad, and I started seeing a perspective of a poor dad. And with my understanding of it, I was able to just know that, okay, I actually want to fall into leaning towards becoming the rich dad version of the book. So the book basically talks a bit more about personal finance, and this is one of the classical books by Robert Kiyosaki. So between the two, there was the rich dad, which was his friend's dad, which was a rich, wealthy and as well and an entrepreneur. And then there was the poor dad, which was his biological father, which was a highly educated but financially struggling a government employee. So what are the key takeaways that I got from the book? The very first thing is the rich don't work for money. Wealthy people focus a bit more on acquiring assets, and those assets are able to turn into passive income. With those passive income, obviously that's what they can live with. And the poor or the middle class actually exchange their time for money. So the second takeaway that I got from it is financial education is key. So school basically teaches you to be able to work in an organization or whatever the case is, but being able to learn things such as understanding money, investing, and also entrepreneurship is very critical because these are things that you do not even get to learn in school. So the third takeaway that I got from it is the difference between assets and liabilities. So the rich basically invest or buy or use their money in order to be able to buy assets like stocks, businesses, and as well real estate, while the poor use their money to buy liabilities such as things like cars, expensive houses, and as well tools or material things that don't grow them financially. So the fourth takeaway that I took from it is making money work for you. I remember once I discovered how money can work for you, things changed for me because I went from having one income stream to having multiple income streams. And that is one of the best ways that he even taught it. Being able to use your paycheck or whatever money that you're making to be able to just diversify that income so you have more money. So I see with this, a lot of people just want to get in, do one thing, and then hopefully hope what's going to make them a millionaire. Like, let's say, for instance, a person wants to just get in on the charts, look at the markets the whole day, trade, and think that just by trading, when I make all the money in the world, on which it's not like that. It shouldn't even be like that. How it works is like with me, when I started, yes, I was trading, but because I saw that I still needed more resources, I ended up being able to drive Uber. You understand? I was driving Uber at the time because I was trying to get more money. So now I'm trading, I'm driving Uber as well. Now, also, when I was deep, when I had the experience, the knowledge, certain things, I started even teaching what I was doing on a day-to-day basis. So I also developed that and started making money from that. And then from there, I got more deeper in a way whereby I was able to build my income streams to 7 before the age of 23 years old. And now it has been able to be more than that. So that's just one of the best ways that you can see and take this to head. And the last takeaway that I took from it is the mindset matters. How you think about money is how much you will accumulate in the longer term process. If you hate money, if you don't like money, you feel like it's bad, it's here to hurt you, it's here to affect you, you are eventually going to get the results of a person that doesn't like money or that money does not even like him. But if you value money, if you respect money, if you are disciplined towards money, automatically more money is going to like you and more money is going to be able to just come to your pocket. So ultimately, the rich are able to take calculated risks while the poor are avoiding to take risks at all. Okay, so now we are on the third book that we did mention. So you guys asked me what are the top 5 books that I've read that have literally just changed my life or been able to just show me a different perspective. And right now we're on the third book. And this one here, the first book was, I just want us to quickly recap. The first book I did mention that is the Bible, just being able to understand the New Testament, the Old Testament, and every lesson that's in between. And then secondly, we did speak about Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which would allow you to be able to just get a bit more deeper into understand the differences between the wealthy or the richer side of things and as well the poor, being able to just understand the mindset and how to basically apply, whether you want to be rich or whether you want to be poor, being able to apply the lessons that should be learned from there. Now, one of the books that I've also came across in my journey was The Millionaire, Fastlane. So I've got the book right here in front of me. With me, this is the Millionaire Fastlane. It was written by MJ DeMarco. So this book actually, I was watching some videos on YouTube and I started searching what are the books that can impact or change life. And this is one of the books that the person that I was following, one of my mentors at the time, mentioned that this is one of the books that changed them. So I was like, oh, okay, let me just get this. I got this. I didn't read it for like 2 years. I had it. It was on a shelf up until one day I was like, you know what? Maybe I need to read this book and be able to just see what it has for me. And truly speaking, once I've read it, I was able to just learn and spot some few things. So let us dive a bit more onto basically understanding what I got from this book. So basically, this is exactly what the title of the book says, The Millionaire Fastlane. So it's showing you the traditional way of basically being able to just get wealthy, which would be like 40 years working all your life, dedicating like 40 years, 50 years of work, and being able to just take that money, put it into retirement or whatever the cases, and then maybe retiring when you're wealthy. And that is just one of the traditional ways. But this one here, it's trying to just cut things a bit more shorter for you so that you're able to not go through 40-year journey in order to just make your first $1 million. But what you'll do is that with this book, it basically shows you how you can be able to just get into entrepreneurship, and then that way you'd be able to just scale the businesses that you're involved in and be able to just cut that process a bit more shorter. So instead of 40 years, it can be maybe 3 years or 5 years or even 10 years, because truly speaking, developing real wealth, it doesn't even have to take a month or 2 or 3 or a year. It can take 10 years, a decade. But the most important thing is you are going to be able to build sustainable wealth. That's one of the most important things that you'll be able to spot from it. So that is one of the first takeaways that I got. The slow lane and as well the fast lane. Slow lane obviously being working, a decent job that's not going to allow you to create any impact, but at the same time giving away a lot of time towards something that's not going to be able to pay back. And the second, which is the fast way, is being able to create a business that's going to allow you to basically scale up and still be able to make money immensely. So the second takeaway that I got is that wealth is built through control and not through luck. So instead of just relying on your employees or maybe on something that you're waiting for something to happen in order for you to become wealthy, what it teaches you is to be able to just build and create your own wealth. Things like being able to just invest in whether it's real estate assets or stocks, things that are going to be able to just accumulate in the longer run, but not relying off of luck, instead focusing a bit more on what exactly you can build. So in this book, there are the 5 fast lane commandments, which is the NECST. And the first one is need. Need is basically being able to solve a problem that needs to be solved. And the E, which is the second one, is entry. You need to avoid highly saturated markets whereby they are very competitive. And the third one now in the NECST is control, which means that you need to have control over whether it's your business, so you don't rely off of one specific boss or you don't rely off of one platform. And the S in the NECST stands for skill, which means that you need to be able to scale that business in a way whereby there are no limits. And the last one is time, which basically means that the business should be able to just generate income without you sacrificing your time. So one of the things that the book also taught me is that being able to trade time for money is also something that you need to be able to avoid, because this way you only have as much time during the day. But if you are able to just build systems and things that are going to be able to just work without you being there, automatically this is how you can scale things. So even if you are able to just develop something that's going to be able to grow just by you managing it for a day, just by you managing it for an hour or 2 hours a day, that way you can scale, because like I did say, with time you only have as much. And the last takeaway is execution over education. Truly speaking, what this means is that yes, education does matter. Education is needed for you to be able to apply certain things, but if you don't execute, if you don't apply certain things, automatically even that education that you have won't be put into practice. So that is the third book that we came across. Now let us move over to the fourth book. So we covered 3 top books that I've read so far, and then what we're going to do now is that we're going to be covering just 2 more. And this video is going to be one of those videos that once you apply the key takeaways that we're going to be sharing here, you'll be able to just see changes in whatever that you are doing. So the next one that we've got here is the 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. So you can simply see this is what the book looks like. So this book, yeah, I read it, I think it was like maybe 2 years ago. And it's one of those books that, yes, they were recommended to me years ago, but I just never read it. And 2 years ago, I just felt like maybe let me give it a try. In fact, for me to even give it a try, I saw a video by 50 Cent and he was actually saying something, and he was quoting one of the laws that were mentioned here. And I was like, okay, this is dope. Let me just give it a try and see. And yeah, we did really, and it opened up a lot of how we see things basically. So this book here is a strategic guide to influence, power, and as well success. So Robert Greene talks about some of the ways that you can basically gain those levels whereby you're in a position that can basically be more influential and have access to a lot of power. But at the same time, this helps you be able to understand and master things in a way whereby you are able to use this for a positive impact. Because once you are able to be powerful, automatically you can either use it to do negative things or you can use it to do positive things. And with the negative way, you might not go far, it might just be a short term thing. But once you are able to use it for a positive impact or in a positive way, this way you will leave a great impact in the world. So that's one of the best ways that I was able to see this. So now, what are the key takeaways that we can take from the 48 laws of power? So the first takeaway is power is a game. You need to learn the rules. You need to understand that the world isn't fair. If you learn and understand how power works, you'd be able to take control of your own destiny and not be manipulated. So the second key takeaway is that you need to appear weak but actually be strong. This is the third law in the book, which is conceal your intentions. You should never reveal your true goals immediately. You need to keep people on their toes, and most importantly, you need to stay unpredicted. I mean, just with this book, you should even see how I get in the house. It's not in a predictable way. So the third takeaway is the very first law of the book, which is to never outshine the master. You should never make your boss, your leader, or your mentor feel threatened, but instead what you should do is make them feel important. And the fourth key takeaway is that you need to win through actions and not through words. And that is the ninth law in the 48 laws of power. And what this law basically just means is that you need to talk less and you need to actually move more, or actions should be done in order for you to be able to show your power. The wisest actually move in silence. The fifth takeaway that I got from this book is law number 35, which is you need to master the art of timing. Knowing when to act is just as powerful as knowing what exactly you need to be doing. So you need to be able to just time things properly and then act when necessary or when needed. And the last takeaway that I got from this book is control your emotions, which is the law number 3. Never let emotions drive your decisions. You need to stay calm, stay dedicated and persistent towards what you're seeing in the longer term run. So you need to basically learn on how to control your emotions. So that is the 48 laws of power. That's how I understand it. That's some of the key takeaways that I got from it. So now I need us to move to the very last book that I've read that have helped me be able to just see things in a much more different way. And I believe once you are able to apply some of the key takeaways that I experience, you'd be able to also see things in a much more different perspective. So the last book on my top 5 list of books that I've read and that have helped me see things in a different way is Principles by Ray Dalio. So this book, I came across it while I'm basically researching about investing, billionaires and all those things. And I came across Ray Dalio. In fact, I saw his interview and I loved his work. I loved the things that he said. I liked how basically he done certain things and he said in certain ways, like how he held himself. And then I was like, you know what? I need to learn more about this guy. And then luckily I discovered that he has a book. Then I bought the book immediately. So this is one of the first books that I bought when I was still hustling. And then yeah, I read this book and things were no longer the same for me. So Ray Dalio is a billionaire investor which owns Bridgewater Associates, which helps on decision making, personal success, and as well personal growth. So the two lessons that you can take from principles, the first thing is the life principles, and then the second one is the work principles. So the life principles helps more on being able to think properly, achieving personal goals, and being able to just grow personally as a person. So the work principles focuses a bit more on how to build a strong organization, lead a bit more better, and as well make effective decisions. So what are the key takeaways that I got from this book? So the first takeaway is you need to be able to embrace reality and as well deal with it. So the second takeaway that I got from this book is pain plus reflection is equals to progress. You need to understand that failure isn't bad. You just need to be able to learn from those mistakes just so you are able to come back much more stronger and much more wiser. So the third takeaway is the most important thing when building an organization is being able to be transparent and as well honest. In business, you need to always speak the truth and as well encourage feedback. Another takeaway that I got from this book is that you need to be able to think like a machine. being able to develop systems that are going to be able to just work at the most. And the only thing that you're going to be able to just focus a bit more on is optimizing those systems. But at the same time, there's no emotions in those systems. Another key takeaway that I got from this book is being able to just surround yourself with capable, trustworthy people that have the same values that you have. And the last takeaway that I got from Principles by Ray Dalio is having clear and defined goals. Just being able to just know exactly what it is that you're working towards, what it is that you're doing, and then on a day-to-day basis, being able to just work towards that. So that is my top 5 books I've been able to just read, understand, and ever since I've read this book, things have never really been the same for me. I believe that if you do happen to, if you don't have time, you can rewatch some of the summaries and takeaways that I got. But these are my personal takeaways. You can maybe read the book and then find something else that's going to be able to help and grow you. But that's it for today's video. It is your buddy Samutupi. I thank you so much for watching.